So you want to get the inside track on some really groundbreaking medical research.
Yeah, like the stuff that could actually change things down the line.
Exactly, but maybe without, digging through super dense papers for hours on end.
Right. Who has time for that?
Well, you're in the right place. This is the deep dive. We basically take these complex topics and pull out the key stuff for you.
And today we're diving into the Behind the Breakthrough podcast. It comes from the University Health Network, UHN.
And Behind the Breakthrough, it's not just some random medical show, is it?
No, not at all. It actually won Outstanding Science Series at the Canadian Podcast Awards back in 2022.
Okay, so that's some serious credibility right there.
Definitely. It shows they're really good at making, complex science understandable and engaging.
Right. And their whole mission, it seems, is to kind of pull back the curtain, show the people the human stories behind all this top-tier research happening at UHN.
It's sort of like getting a backstage pass, isn't it? Seeing how the future of medicine is actually being shaped.
Yeah, exactly. And the sheer range of what they cover is, well, it's pretty vast.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've got episodes on the real nitty-gritty of brain tumors, those growths.
Right. On or near the brain.
Yeah, those. But then they also look at really practical things like finding better ways for seniors to stay in their own homes comfortably and independently.
Aging in place, yeah. That's huge. And I saw they also tackled how sleep getting messed up affects brain injury recovery.
And the origins of head and neck cancer, getting right down to the fundamentals.
And even, this one blew my mind a bit, using our own gut bacteria, the microbiome.
As therapy, yeah, that's cutting edge stuff.
It really shows the diversity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Super specific lab work to broader health ideas.
And what really stands out, I think, is their focus on research firsts, like actual world firsts happening there.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, Dr. Galara Zaydeh's lab, they were the first in the world to map the detailed biology of meningiomas.
Those skull-based tumors you mentioned.
Exactly. So it's not just spotting them, it's like creating a molecular fingerprint.
Which could lead to more targeted treatments.
Precisely. That could totally change how those complex tumors are treated. Real hope for patients there.
Oh, okay, that's big.
And then there's Dr. L'Oreal's. Her work actually pinpointed the specific cell where head and neck squamous carcinoma originates.
So knowing exactly where that cancer starts.
Yeah. I mean, that's often the key, right? If you know the starting point, you have a much better chance of stopping it early or preventing it altogether.
That's a fundamental piece of the puzzle, isn't it?
Totally. But it's not just about, the hardcore lab science fighting diseases.
Right. You mentioned they also look at, what was it, outside the box research?
Yeah, exactly. Which shows they get that health is, well, it's way more than just biology, isn't it?
Okay, like what kind of things?
Think about Dr. Andrew Bouzeri's work. He's the director at the Gattuso Center for Social Medicine.
Ah, social medicine. So things like housing, income.
Bingo! The social determinants of health. He's really highlighting how stuff like not having stable housing or enough money for good food massively impacts our health.
And he's doing work on actually prescribing housing for people experiencing homelessness.
Yeah. It's a really powerful way to tackle health problems right at their source instead of just dealing with the symptoms later.
That's a very different angle.
It is. And then you've got Dr. Howard Abrams and the NORC Innovation Center. NORC stands for Naturally Occurring Retirement Communities.
Okay, naturally occurring. So places where lots of seniors already live.
Exactly. The idea is most seniors want to age at home. So their research looks at smart ways to bring health and social supports right into those communities.
Ah, so supporting independence, quality of life, right where people are.
That's the goal.
So when you put it all together, I mean, from mapping tumor DNA to prescribing housing.
Yeah, it's really comprehensive. They're hitting health challenges from, well, pretty much every angle.
And the podcast, Behind the Breakthrough, gives you a front row seat to all that innovation.
And that's really our aim here with this deep dive. We want to pull out the key insights from Behind the Breakthrough for you.
Give you a clear picture of the kind of pioneering work UHN is doing.
Yeah, highlighting some of the surprising stuff, the big steps forward. Consider this like your shortcut to getting up to speed on some really important medical developments.
Okay, so listening to all that, the range of work, is there a connecting thread you see running through it all? Something that ties it together?
That's a good question. I think what really strikes me is this constant back and forth between deep fundamental science like really understanding the basic biology
Uh-huh.
and this very practical drive to actually improve things for patients and, society more broadly.
So it's not just research for its own sake.
Not at all. You see researchers who are super curious about how things work at a basic level, but they're always translating that knowledge.
Right, into new treatments, better ways to diagnose things.
New strategies to make people's lives better. It's always got that practical application in mind, it seems.
That makes sense. It's the so what
Yeah,
behind the science, isn't it? How does this actually help people?
exactly. And the podcast format itself is, well, it's brilliant for this.
How so?
Because you get to hear straight from the researchers. You hear their motivations, the hurdles they overcome.
Passion, maybe?
Yeah, and the hopes they have for their work. It really puts a human face on what can sometimes feel like, very abstract science.
It really does. You get a feel for the personal stories. I remember hearing about Dr. Jalera Zadeh, the neurosurgeon,
Well, yeah.
her family's journey immigrating from Iran, and how she ended up leading neurosurgery at UHN. It's pretty incredible.
Wow. See, that kind of story reminds you these breakthroughs often come from people with amazing resilience, real determination. And hearing those personal stories, that connection, it makes these complex topics much more relatable, doesn't it?
Totally. It's not just data points. It's about the human effort behind the progress.
Mm-hmm. So for you, the listener, Behind the Breakthrough really gives you this unique chance to properly understand what's happening at its cutting edge.
Learn directly from the experts about the big problems they're tackling.
Yeah, and the progress they're making in areas that, let's face it, affect all of us somehow, directly or indirectly.
When you think about the bigger picture then, this research they're showcasing, it's a pretty major contribution globally, wouldn't you say?
Oh, undoubtedly. These discoveries, these new ways of doing things, they have the potential to really shift how we prevent, diagnose, and treat so many conditions worldwide.
It's also just, well, inspiring seeing all the different approaches they take.
Right, from the super detailed molecular work.
To those big picture public health things like the social medicine work.
It just underscores that improving health isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. You need innovation on lots of different fronts, attacking problems from different angles.
Yeah, it really does. Which brings up a point. How often do we really get to see behind the curtain in science?
Not often enough, probably. And Behind the Breakthrough really provides that rare look. It makes complex stuff accessible, even, dare I say, entertaining.
Yeah, engaging for sure.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening who maybe feels a bit, swamped by medical news, this podcast seems like a really good way to stay informed without feeling overwhelmed. You're getting it straight from the horse's mouth, basically.
Exactly. From the people actually doing the groundbreaking work. That builds a lot of trust, I think.
And the sheer breadth of topics they cover is impressive, too.
Yeah, whether you're interested in, say, the basic biology of cancer or brain health or the latest in transplants,
Or even those wider societal factors we talked about.
chances are there's an episode in their archive that'll really grab your attention.
Okay, let's dig into a couple of those specific areas because some of them sound incredibly futuristic, like the microbiome research or using stem cells for diabetes.
Oh, absolutely. Those are fields moving at lightning speed right now with huge potential.
So the microbiome one, Dr. Brian Coburn's work.
Yeah, the episode on his work, thinking about using our gut bacteria therapeutically, that really changes how you think about treatment, doesn't it?
It does. It's not just about drugs targeting us.
Right. It's about harnessing this massive ecosystem inside us, trillions of bacteria and microbes to improve health. That's a real paradigm shift.
A whole new toolkit almost.
Kind of, yeah. And then you have Dr. Christina Nostro's research using stem cells with the potential to actually cure type 1 diabetes.
Cure, not just manage.
That's the ultimate goal. Imagine that. For people living with a chronic condition like type 1 diabetes, that kind of research offers just immense hope, truly transformative potential.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not just future potential either. Think about transplantation. Dr. Shaf Khashoggi's work in lung transplantation.
Yes, I saw that mentioned.
Those advancements have already made a massive, tangible difference, saving lives, significantly improving quality of life for people globally.
Right. It highlights the sheer dedication needed too, doesn't it? Years, sometimes decades of work behind these breakthroughs.
Absolutely. Persistence is key in science.
So it's clear UHN isn't just treating today's patients. They're actively building the future of healthcare through this kind of research.
And Behind the Breakthrough is our direct line to understanding these really crucial steps forward as they happen.
Okay, so wrapping this up, It really feels like UHN's Behind the Breakthrough podcast gives us this unique window.
Yeah, a valuable perspective on the whole world of medical research. It does a great job showing the researchers' dedication, but also the human stories behind it all.
Across such a wide range of health areas, too.
Exactly.
I mean, we touched on so much. Dr. Zeta mapping brain tumors.
Dr. Ailes finding that cancer origin cell.
The potential of microbiome therapy with Dr. Coburn. Dr. Abrams helping seniors age at home.
And Dr. Boozary tackling those root social causes of health issues. It's a lot.
It really is. Which kind of makes you wonder, for you listening, out of all these different research paths, which one grabs your curiosity the most?
Is it the deep dive into cancer biology? Or maybe the promise of stem cells? Or perhaps how things like housing connect to health?
Whatever it is, if something sparked your interest.
You should definitely check out the Behind the Breakthrough podcast itself. You get the full story, much deeper dives.
Straight from the researchers leading the charge. It's a fantastic resource.
Yeah, absolutely. So thinking about all this research happening, not just at UHN, but institutions like it leads to a final thought, maybe.
Okay.
What future medical advancements do you personally find the most hopeful? Or the ones you think could be truly transformative for society?
That's a big question.
It is. Something worth thinking about, though, as we see science continuing to push the boundaries and shape, hopefully, a healthier future for everyone.